7 signs your body is reversing aging. Don't miss this. Healthy living after 60. Dear friend, have you ever woken up one morning, looked in the mirror, and suddenly realized something was different about you today? Not that your wrinkles disappeared or your hair suddenly turned black again. But your spirit was lifted, your eyes were brighter, and a sense of vitality crept into every breath. If you have ever felt like that, congratulations. Maybe your body is rejuvenating in a natural, gentle way, without the need for magic pills. At this age, when we have gone through countless ups and downs in life, the most precious thing is not to regain the figure of our 20s, but to maintain clarity, health, and joy in life every day. And the wonderful thing is, today's science has proven the aging process is not entirely a one-way street. There are signs, if we know how to listen, showing that the body is recovering, rejuvenating in its own way. So what exactly are these signs? How can you recognize them in your daily life? And more importantly, how can you nurture and continue that rejuvenation journey? We will sit together in this video, like old friends, sharing each story, each experience. And you will be surprised to realize that, maybe, you have been rejuvenating without even knowing it. Let's start with the first sign, my friend. You feel lighter, less stressed. That's the first sign. Remember about 10 years ago, when life was busier, more worrying. You may have lost sleep over seemingly small things, an unpaid bill, a tantrum with your child, or even just a fleeting backache that made you worry all night. But now, do you realize that you let go more easily? You may still care about things, but you don't hold it all in like before. Emotions flow more easily. Anger doesn't stick around as long as it used to. You may even laugh when you remember how stressed you were over something small. It's not just living long enough to get used to it, but actually a positive change in brain and hormonal activity. When stress is reduced, the level of the hormone cortisol, often called the stress hormone, in the body also decreases. And this is a good thing. High levels of cortisol over time increase the risk of high blood pressure, diabetes, and even memory loss. When you're less stressed, you don't just feel better, you actually protect your brain and heart. Researchers at UCLA, California, USA, once found that older adults who participated in light activities such as meditation, painting, and listening to music had significantly lower levels of cortisol than those who did not. A 72-year-old woman in the study shared, "I don't think I'm getting younger, but when I see my grandchildren playing, I feel light, like a child." And that light feeling is the starting point of rejuvenation from deep within. You sleep better without medication. That's the second sign. Everyone knows that sleep is a miracle drug for health. But many people think that the older you get, the harder it is to sleep, and that's inevitable. However, if you've recently found yourself sleeping better, falling asleep easier, and waking up less in the middle of the night, then congratulations, that's an extremely positive sign. Good sleep reflects stable regulation in the nervous and endocrine systems. It's also the body's way of repairing and recovering every day. When you sleep deeply, your brain activates a mechanism to clean up excess protein plaques, the cause of diseases like Alzheimer's. At the same time, your body's cells repair themselves, inflammation is activated, and your immune system is boosted. If you've been taking sleeping pills for a while, and are now able to gradually wean yourself off them and still sleep well, that's a clear sign that your body is rediscovering its natural circadian rhythm. Many people in their 60s report making changes to their evening routine, such as cutting back on electronic devices, drinking a cup of herbal tea, or simply sitting quietly for 15 minutes before bed. These small changes, if maintained, will help your body adjust to its circadian rhythm without the need for medication. John, who lives in Oregon, once said that he slept very well after starting to take a light walk every morning. "I didn't do much. I just walked around the neighborhood, looked at the trees, talked to my neighbors. Then at night, I fell asleep at 9 o'clock and slept straight through the morning. That was the first time I felt my body listened to me." And it's true. When you sleep well naturally, not only does your body listen, it's also telling you, "I'm getting better." You feel like moving more. That's the third sign. At this age, sitting in one place for a long time is sometimes a hard habit to break. But if recently, you suddenly feel like going for a walk more, feel like moving your limbs, want to get up from your chair to do something, don't underestimate it. Because the natural need to move is a strong sign of inner vitality. No need to run or work out, just feel your feet itchy, your hands want to pick up this and that, you want to clean the room, garden, or simply step outside to look at the sky. That means your body has energy. Your circulatory system is stable, your knees are still flexible, and your muscles are still responding well. According to a study from Harvard University, people aged 65 and older who have a habit of light exercise every day, such as walking, yoga, gardening, not only have a better cardiovascular system, but also have higher bone density, lower risk of falling, and a clearer mind. More importantly, they feel wanting to live, wanting to continue doing something useful. Mary, a 68-year-old woman living in Vermont, shared, "I take care of plants every day. Not because the plants need me, but because I need to feel like I can still do something." And you see, when you want to do something, that's when you're younger than yesterday. Dear friend, when it comes to rejuvenation, people often think of anti-aging creams, expensive supplements, or cosmetic surgery. But true rejuvenation doesn't come from the outside. It comes from small movements, in your mind, in your breathing, in your sleep, and in the way you want to walk. The first three signs that we've just explored together, a light spirit, natural sleep, and the need to move, seem small, but they are the roots of a recovering body. And you know what? There are other signs, equally interesting and profound, waiting for us to continue on our journey of discovery. Great, thank you for joining us. Now let's continue our gentle conversation on the journey 7 signs your body is rejuvenating. Don't ignore it. Still the warm, close tone, still the deep sharing between friends of the same age. We will listen to other wonderful signs that the body is whispering to us every day. Your digestion is better, your stomach is lighter. That is the 4th sign. I don't know if you have noticed, but the older you get, the more sensitive your digestive system becomes. In the past, everything you ate was delicious, your digestion was good. Then at some point, just a meal that was a little too greasy or a little late made your stomach uncomfortable. But if recently you feel your stomach is more comfortable, you no longer feel bloated when you eat, and you even feel hungry at the right time, then congratulations, that is an extremely good sign. A rejuvenated body is not only reflected in the skin or spirit, but also comes from the digestive system, which is the first place to come into contact with what we put into our bodies. If you find yourself enjoying your food, digesting it regularly, going to the bathroom more easily, and not feeling bloated after meals, then your gut microbiome is doing its job. And did you know that this microbiome plays a key role in controlling inflammation, supporting immunity, and even regulating mood? A study at Stanford University found that older adults who ate a regular diet, added fiber-rich foods like vegetables, oats, and beans, and avoided processed foods, saw a noticeable change in their digestive system after just a few weeks. They even reported increased happiness, as the gut and brain are more closely connected than we realize. You might think, I haven't changed much, I've just been eating more moderately. But it's that moderation, choosing a light bowl of soup over fried food, or drinking warm water instead of coffee in the evening, that helps your gut breathe, which in turn improves your overall immune system and cellular repair. A friend of mine in California once told me, I don't take stomach medicine anymore. I just started chewing slower, and I naturally feel full sooner. I eat a bowl of steamed vegetables every day, and I feel light all day. When your stomach is light, your mind is also at peace. That's a big step in the journey to rejuvenation. You find that your memory seems to be better. That's the 5th sign. Don't be surprised if you find yourself remembering the names of old friends more easily, or finding your reading glasses less often. Many people think that memory can only decline with age. But in fact, if you're improving your sleep, eating healthier, and being less stressed, your memory will benefit too. The brain is like a garden. When watered regularly with good habits, it will bloom again. There is a phenomenon called neuroplasticity, the ability of neural connections to regenerate and adapt, that persists even when we are in our 70s and 80s. That means you can absolutely learn new things, remember old things, and process information faster if you know how to exercise and nourish your brain. Many seniors in the United States today are participating in skill classes, reading groups, or even learning to use smartphones, not to stay young in a technological way, but to keep their minds sharp and agile. And surprisingly, that excitement is the most effective brain-nourishing medicine. A 75-year-old woman in Seattle once said at a conference, "I can't remember how many drawing programs I've watched on YouTube. But I remember feeling like I was 18 again every time I finished a painting." When you feel like you're remembering better, thinking more flexibly, that's when your brain is getting younger. And that's also proof that age has no limit on learning. You feel more optimistic, want to reconnect with people, that's the sixth sign. Have you ever suddenly wanted to call an old friend or want to write someone a handwritten letter? Maybe you suddenly feel like talking to your neighbors or spending more time playing with your grandchildren than before. If you notice that you tend to be more extroverted, more interested in others, this is also a beautiful sign of rejuvenation. Loneliness is one of the factors that accelerate the aging process in the elderly. But on the contrary, when you are more open, communicate more, share your emotions regularly, positive hormones like oxytocin and serotonin will be released, helping the body feel happy, reduce inflammation, and even support the cardiovascular system. A Harvard study that followed more than 700 people for 75 years concluded that the biggest factor influencing happiness and health is not money, fame, or diet, it's quality relationships. When you feel connected, you live longer, are healthier, and feel younger. If you're reading a book with a group, chatting with a friend every week, or simply calling someone to check in, congratulations. Those connections are renewing you every day. Richard, a Texas man, organized a coffee morning club with a few fellow retirees in his neighborhood. We don't do anything big. We just sit around, each of us brings a story, sometimes a cup of tea. And for the past 7 years, everyone is healthier, everyone laughs more. You see, nothing is a coincidence. Rejuvenation is not about cosmetics or technology, it's about connection and humanity. We've just gone through 3 more signs: better digestion, improved memory, and more positive emotions. These 3, together with the first signs we shared earlier, create a vivid picture of true rejuvenation, not loud, not flashy, but persistent and sincere. You are on that journey. A journey that requires no ticket, no age as a condition, just attention and love for yourself. And you see, the body always knows how to heal, as long as we listen to it long enough. But you know, there is one more sign, something that is not easily recognized, but has a profound influence on this entire rejuvenation journey. The 7th sign, the most special sign, and together we summarize the picture we have drawn from the beginning. Like 2 old friends sitting and telling each other their life stories, let us continue this story with all the calmness and warmth in our hearts. Have you ever stepped out into the garden early in the morning, took a deep breath and felt the air seemed to be more fragrant today? Or when you held a cup of hot tea, looked at the sunlight slanting through the window, and suddenly smiled, for no apparent reason? If you have ever had those moments, please hold on to them, because they are the final sign. When life inside us blooms again, you feel more clearly the beauty and meaning of life, more deeply and peacefully than ever before. Often when we are young, we are running after so many things: work, responsibility, fame. Life is like a train that is moving too fast, making us unable to see the scenery along the way. But then when we reach this age, when the rush subsides, we have a magical ability to recognize the beauty in the smallest things. When the body is truly rejuvenated, we will find that we no longer live just to get through the day, but live to feel. We find happiness in watering the small potted plants every morning, in the sound of birds singing on the windowsill, or even in a slow shampoo, the scent of soap. These feelings are not due to age, but a transformation from within, when hormones are balanced, nerves are stable, and the mind is light. Modern science calls it the reestablishment of the connection between the nervous system and deep emotions. When cortisol, stress hormone, decreases, the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems are balanced, the brain begins to give you back a sense of pure happiness, no stimulation, no reward, just the happiness of being present. And that is the most subtle, most lasting sign that your body is going against aging. An old lady named Margaret, 82 years old, living in Oregon, once wrote in her diary, "I find myself no longer regretting my youth. I begin to love each wrinkle of mine, because each wrinkle is a story. And I learn to breathe slowly, cook slowly, eat a ripe plum as if enjoying a banquet." You see, not everyone can reach that land, the land where the heart no longer beats fast, but life appears like a gentle melody. But if you have and are feeling it, please smile, because you are truly rejuvenating from the root. When all these signs add up, you are living a life that age cannot define. Let's take a look back, as if we were standing on a hilltop and looking back at the distance we have traveled, 7 signs that we have gone through. First, you find yourself sleeping more deeply at night, waking up more gently in the early morning. Second, you find yourself wanting to move, your limbs are less painful, your back is a little straighter. Third, you feel comfortable in your stomach, eating well without fear of bloating. Fourth, you realize your memory is clear, your mind is no longer as foggy as before. Fifth, you feel relieved, not irritable, not tired like before. Sixth, you start calling, writing, sharing, and listening more. Seventh, you sit and watch the sun, sip tea, and feel warm like the afternoon sun. These 7 seemingly small things, when put together, create a complete picture of comprehensive rejuvenation, from physical to mental, from the immune system to the soul. Do you know, you are the answer to what modern medicine is still looking for? Science is increasingly discovering that youth does not come from any magic pill, but from the way we live, think, love, and treat ourselves every day. A gentle, persistent, regular lifestyle, things that seem so simple, are the most powerful miracles. No need for modern gyms, no need for expensive therapies. Just pay a little attention, from breathing to sleeping, from meals to conversations, and you have entered the natural recovery process that your body is inherently capable of. The human body is amazing. It does not abandon us with time, but is always ready to heal, as long as we give it the chance. And when we understand that every step, every stretch, every laugh, are expressions of inner youth, we no longer fear aging. Dear friend, if you are feeling a little emotional when you hear this, that is also a good sign. Because you have listened, sympathized, and seen yourself in each point we have just shared. Age is not the end, it is a new chapter. A chapter that we have the right to continue writing with all the understanding, love, and peace that a lifetime has taught us. And if you are on that journey, please continue walking. Slowly, gently, but surely. Because each step is bringing you closer to a younger, healthier, and more profound version of yourself. If you find these shares touching your heart, please leave a few lines in the comment section below. You can tell us about a sign you have experienced, or simply say hello to each other like 2 friends meeting in the middle of life. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so we can meet again on the next journeys, gentle and warm conversations like this. Wish you always live happily, live healthily, and most importantly, live deeply, at every age. Goodbye and see you in the next video.